Okay, now I've got them together now and they sound pretty groovy, but I want to clean them up. Here's what it's going to sound like first. Oops. Okay, so it's really loud, so what I'm going to do is adjust the audio levels on those lead tracks and put it -142 on both there, just off the top of my head. And I'm going to, I want them to sound fuller and to stand out a little bit more, so I'm going to add an equalizer. This one's called less slow, more mid. I like this one a lot, but I got to take off some of the mid because it makes it really loud. I'm going to isolate tracks so I can hear what it sounds like. And I'm going to go ahead and apply the same effect to track 2. Track 1 had it 251, alright. There we go. Together they're pretty equal. Okay, one thing I'm going to do is they would be more intelligent sounding if they were on 2 different speakers. So I'm going to put part A, the first layer, on speaker, the left speaker. And I'm going to put the second layer on the right speaker, about the same distance evenly. So if you were to output this and render it, it would sound really good on a CD player. So here you go. Okay, so that's going to be the intro for our guitar solo. So I'm going to do something real quick and then I'll get right back with you. Okay, we're back. I loaded up a new view. This is like the editing view, and went ahead and actually loaded in the clips so that they line up right, and that way I don't have to do any extra work. So I can just jam over this span of tracks here. Now, many people would probably say, well, this isn't really like a good section for a solo because this is like a complete song right here. And to those people I'd say, well, this is basically how I do it. And I tend to use like the same drum beat, and I know it's repetitive, but I use it over and over and over again because I listen to a lot of bands like Daft Punk, a huge influence on me, really shaped my sound. And I know, odd, right? Rock and metal, and then you got that stuff. But I listen to them because they usually use basically the same beat, but then they flavor it, it changes, it's always expanding. And I really like that approach. I don't personally like too many varying drum parts and so forth with my own music. So this is my setup. So to you, I would encourage you to figure out your own plan for structuring your songs, because you don't have to do that old bullshit of rhythm and bridge and chorus and then repeat and all that. You can do it however the hell you want. It may sound a little funny to some people's ears, but people can't grow and expand until they're shown a new way, I think. So anyways, so we've got our intro, and that'll lead right into a killer, what you could call like a second intro to a really amazing guitar solo, which is generally something that starts out kind of fast if it's this kind of solo. So let's get started and work on that. Okay, now this is the hard part for me because I really don't write guitar solos, I improvise. In fact, when I record a solo, I usually I'll just hit record and start soloing, and then I usually use the first take. Mistakes, even if there are mistakes included, because that's the feeling that I was having at the time, and I captured it, in my opinion, best the first time. So, but what I will show you is that I do have a little thing here. I have a little thing, I said. I do have something that I decided to add in the beginning of this, and it's like a descending arpeggio, which is... And I'm going to do a little sweep picking with that, because that's kind of hard to alternate pick. Something like that. I haven't thought that far ahead yet. So I'm going to have to improvise the rest because I really don't feel like sitting here and taking this part out. But I do have this part that I'm definitely going to use. And then after that, whatever comes out. So we'll see what's going to happen here. I like that second part better. So I just finished cleaning up that part and editing it so that it will fit nicely into our little song. And then I realized that during one of the measures, that last part, there was a little squealy harmonic thing that just kind of happened. That sounded really kick-ass and it's in timing with the song, but it carries over into like the third bar of that whole thing. So what that means is I'm going to have to fit in the next lead part within the next two measures, starting a little bit before that part, so they actually overlap, but that'll sound really cool. And I think for this part I'm going to bust out the wah, and we're going to switch it up. Instead of using a natural minor and all that stuff, we're going to do minor pentatonic, and I'll show you how that's going to work. Okay, we're ready to go, and I've got the wah. You can hear it. It's ready to go. We're going to do D minor pentatonic. Again, D. We're sticking straight to the root notes here. And I'm going to actually start it on the G note here. I'm going to bend it up to an A, but I'm going to do a double bend. So here, let me break this down for you. We'll take the top half of our minor pentatonic scale here, which would be... I know my guitar's so out too. So we've got that. If you take your second note of that, you got 1, 2, which is your G, and then take the third note. We're going to play those two notes together and we're going to do a double bend. So you got an A here, and what we're going to do is take that G and bend it up to this A. So you've got two A's. So we're going to do something like that. Alright, let's lay that down. I think that'll be a good intro. Okay, so that's basically it for our guitar solo. And yeah, I didn't break down every note to you and everything because I was improvising a lot of that. I mean, that's just how I have to do it. But I'll tell you what, the way that I got to where I am now with my playing, which isn't that great. This solo messed up a lot of parts, didn't care. But the way that I got to this kind of creative freedom was because I took it upon myself to learn other people's things without jumping the tablature always, and without asking someone to, you know, take me by the hand every time. If you take the time to really use your brain power, it's going to really open up doors for you in your own playing. And formulate your own opinions and thoughts about how you think a guitar solo should sound. Some pointers are for beginners primarily, because they don't probably really, they're overwhelmed and they're not thinking about this, but with a guitar solo you want sort of a wave effect. You want variation of speeds and timing. So one part starts out slow, maybe there's another part that has fewer notes and it's a little slow, and then blast in with a good fast part when you get your speed up to par. And then go back to slow, then maybe play the next two parts fast. Think about note arrangement, timing variation. I got some things written down. Note arrangement, phrasing, structure, something that I like to call visual mapping, which we'll be talking about, and aural training, as in your ear, not oral training.